Would you ever advise the administration that it could disregard an applicable district court opinion or order because you believe the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn it? Yes or no?
I don't want to speculate, but I can't see a situation where I would advise to not follow a court order.
So your answer is no, you would never advise them to disregard a district court order, even if you thought the Supreme Court
Again,
would
I don't want to
overturn.
speak. I don't want to speak.
I just want you to be precise and answer yes or no.
I can't see a time where I would do that. No.
Okay.
What happens when nominees for the nation's top legal positions can't give a straight yes or no answer to the simplest of questions? That's exactly what unfolded when Senator Adam Schiff pressed Mr. Edlow and Mr. Geiser during this tense Senate exchange. Schiff wasn't letting them wriggle off the hook, and the back and forth that followed revealed just how slippery some of these so-called legal experts can get. Stick around, because this moment escalates from evasive answers to a constitutional showdown that you won't want to miss.
I want to follow up on Senator Kennedy's line of question and ask a similar line of yes or no questions just to put a finer point and make sure that your answers are as definitive as they sounded. So let me start with you, Mr. Edlow. Yes or no, would you ever advise the administration that it could ignore or disregard an applicable district court order because you believe the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn it?
Senator, as I said before,
yes, just a yes or no question.
I don't believe I'll ever be
Senator,
in that position.
But you may not. But just like you answered Senator Kennedy, I want to make sure that you were not misleading anyone. So let me ask the question again. Would you ever advise the administration that it could disregard an applicable district court opinion or order because you believe the Supreme Court will ultimately overturn it? Yes or no?
I don't want to speculate, but I can't see a situation where I would advise to not follow a court order.
So your answer is no, you would never advise them to disregard a district court order, even if you thought the Supreme Court
Again,
would
I don't
overturn
want to speak.
it.
I don't want to speak.
I just want you to be precise and answer yes or no.
I can't see a time where I would do that. No.
Okay. Mr. Geiser, yes or no?
Thank you very much, Senator Schiff. I would advise clients to follow court orders.
Even if you believe the Supreme Court would ultimately overturn the district court?
Well, Senator, as far as
yes or no?
the answer is the same. The president has said he will follow court orders.
The same answer, yes or no?
Senator, the president has said he will follow.
You were able to answer Senator Kennedy, but I want to make sure that you were not misleading Senator Kennedy. Yes or no, would you ever advise the administration it could ignore a district court order because you believed the Supreme Court would ultimately rule otherwise? Yes or no, would you ever advise them that?
Senator, applicable court orders should be followed.
That's not my question. Yes or no?
Senator, you asked me.
Yes or no, Mr. Geiser? It's a simple question.
Senator?
Mr. Geiser, you were able to answer Senator Kennedy. Are you raising a doubt now about your answers to Senator Kennedy because you can't answer this question?
Senator, I would advise clients to follow applicable court orders.
Is that a yes or no?
I would advise clients to follow applicable.
Is that a yes or no? Let me repeat the question so there's no ambiguity about it. Would you ever advise the administration, you're going to be, if you're confirmed, heading the Office of Legal Counsel that helps determine whether actions are lawless or lawful, would you ever advise the administration that it could ignore an applicable district court opinion or order because you believed the Supreme Court would ultimately overturn the order? Yes or no?
Senator, if I'm confirmed to lead the Office of Legal Counsel,
all right.
I would.
You're not answering the question. So I guess the answer is to Senator Kennedy, you just might advise the administration to ignore a district court order. How about you, counsel?
Thank you, Senator Schiff. In my role as director, I
just
am not
asking yes or no.
Well, I would thank you. I wish to clarify. I'm not, if confirmed, a director. I'm not acting in a legal capacity at all. I'm part of the executive agency branch, and therefore would not be advising clients on any aspects of that.
Well, would it be appropriate, in your view, for anyone else among legal counsel to do so?
In general, court orders should be followed and respected. There are situations which I recall back from law school between branches.
I guess you're not able to answer the question either. Counsel, how about you?
Senator Schiff, thank you. I mean, I agree. I don't believe it's appropriate to address this hypothetical. At the Department of Justice.
Okay, so you want to revise your answer to Senator Kennedy then? That is, there may be circumstances where you advise the administration to disregard a district court of opinion because you believe the Supreme Court might rule otherwise. Is that your opinion?
As a lawyer, the answer is it depends.
Okay,
What I can-
thank you. Then we'll make sure Senator Kennedy is aware that you just might, it depends, advise the administration to ignore court orders.
Senator, if I
let me
could-
ask another question. Mr. Geiser, would you agree that it would be unlawful for the president to accept a gift from a foreign state without the consent of Congress? Would you agree that's unlawful?
Well, thank you for that question, Senator.
Yes or no?
Whether something is lawful or not, I would always want to look.
I'm just asking you a simple question. Is it unlawful for the president to accept a gift from a foreign state without the consent of Congress? Very simple question.
Senator, as a lawyer, I would always give my...
I'm not asking you for a preamble, just yes or no.
Well, Senator Schiff, it depends on the fact.
Well, Mr. Geiser, where is the depends on the facts of Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, which says, no person holding any office shall, without consent of Congress, accept any present from any foreign state. That's the Constitution. Doesn't say, well, it depends, or it might, or maybe. It says, no person shall do so. Do you find that ambiguous?
Senator,
I thought you were supposed to be the strict constructionists. This is what the Constitution says. Is there an exception for $400 million planes from Gulf emirs?
Schiff wasn't asking trick questions. He wasn't looking for gotcha moments. He was doing something far more important, pinning down whether these future government lawyers would ever tell a president that it's okay to ignore a district court ruling. He started with Mr. Edlow. Schiff framed it carefully. Yes or no? Would you ever advise the administration it could ignore a district court order because you believe the Supreme Court might overturn it? Now, most of us can answer that instantly. The answer is no. You follow the law. You respect court orders, period. But Edlow hedged. He didn't want to speculate. He said he couldn't see a situation like that. Schiff wasn't about to let him slip through the cracks. He pressed harder. So your answer is no? Finally, reluctantly, Edlow admitted no. But that's when things got interesting because Schiff turned to Mr. Geiser, and suddenly, the smooth talking really started. When asked the same question, Geiser gave the kind of lawyerly non-answer that drives people crazy. Applicable court orders should be followed. That's technically true, but it wasn't the question. Schiff immediately cut in. That's not my question. Yes or no? Instead of a clean answer, Geiser repeated the line. Schiff pressed again. Still no. Round after round, Schiff forced him to confront the contradiction. Geiser had been able to give Senator Kennedy an answer earlier, but now under Schiff's questioning, he was hedging. Why? Was he backtracking? Was he leaving an opening for the administration to test the limits of the law? The tension in the room built with every exchange. Schiff wasn't letting go. And that relentless style mattered, because if someone can't commit to following a court order under oath in a Senate hearing, what happens when the pressure is coming directly from the Oval Office? And just when you thought it couldn't get clearer, Schiff moved the questioning into even more dangerous territory, the Constitution itself. He asked Geiser another direct question. Would it be unlawful for the president to accept a gift from a foreign state without the consent of Congress? This is about the Emoluments Clause, Article IE, Section 9, Clause 8. It's not vague. It's not complicated. It says, no person holding any office shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present from any king, prince, or foreign state. It's written in plain English. No wiggle room. No, it depends. But that's exactly what Geiser tried to argue well. Senator, it depends on the facts. That's when Schiff hit back hard. He quoted the Constitution directly, word for word. He reminded the witness that there's no conditional clause, no exceptions. And then, in a sharp jab, Schiff asked, is there an exception for $400 million planes from Gulf emirs? That moment cut straight to the heart of the issue. If these nominees can't say outright that the president is bound by the Constitution, then who exactly are they going to serve the law or the man in the Oval Office? Here's why this matters. The Office of Legal Counsel isn't just another department. It's the president's in-house legal brain, the office that decides whether executive actions are lawful or not. Their word carries enormous weight inside the White House. So when Schiff pushed for yes or no answers, he was doing more than grilling witnesses. He was forcing these future decision-makers to show the American people whether they're committed to the rule of law or whether they're prepared to bend it. And what we saw was alarming. Hesitation, evasion, loophole language. These aren't the qualities you want in the very people responsible for telling a president, no, you can't do that. It's illegal. Because if they can't say no now, what makes anyone think they'll say no later, when it really counts? So here's the bigger takeaway. Schiff's questioning wasn't just about legal theory. It was about accountability, about whether the people entrusted with upholding the law will stand firm when it matters most. And after this hearing, the answers we got or didn't get should concern every American who believes in checks and balances. But what do you think? Were these nominees just being overly cautious, trying to avoid hypotheticals? Or do you think Schiff was right that their refusal to give a straight yes or no shows they're leaving the door open for a president to ignore the law when it suits him? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one of those debates where your perspective is just as important as what happened in that hearing room. If you found this breakdown helpful, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time we unpack moments like this, where the future of the rule of law is put under the spotlight.